I'm David Hahn, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and I'll be assisting with the technical aspects of the production this evening. And with that, it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Radhika Jha. Ms. Jha is a full-time member of the college's faculty. She directs the college's undergraduate degree programs in business, and she is the faculty advisor to its chapter of the Delta Mu Delta Honor Society.
Thank you, Associate Dean David Hahn. I want to formally welcome everyone to this evening. Formally welcome to Delta Mu Delta International Business Honor Society's Z Alpha chapter. And dear inductees, I want to congratulate each one of you on your excellent academic achievement, which qualifies you to be a member of this honor society. And let me tell you, only the cream of business students is invited to join this honor society. So I'm very proud, as you should be too, of the accomplishments that have earned you this accolade. Especially this year's pandemic situation with its exasperating circumstances has been very challenging for all. And I want to congratulate you on your remarkable resourcefulness as you rallied, adapted, and transitioned to online learning. In few months from now, hopefully, the world will return to normal, but I'm quite certain that it will be a new normal. The pandemic has created enormous pressure on people, on society, and forced us to make changes in how we live and work. But I believe that in every crisis, we should look for opportunities. You all are business students, so you know our old good SWOT analysis, which tells us that in any event or situation, there are threats, there are challenges, but also opportunities. And I'm certain that as business school graduates, you will help lead the way, inspired to innovate by the new realities around us, motivated to create new possibilities for a better way of life, and use your business education to create a better world for yourself and others. The new mode of education, this new mode of life, which we were all thrown into in this pandemic, wasn't easy. I agree. And I'm sure that many of you had tough times when you were disheartened, anxious, nervous about what's going to happen, how you will complete this education, this degree, which you've been dreaming of for a long time. But see, you did it. And you should be proud that you did it remarkably well. And this achievement will always remain as a very special memory. Not even a global pandemic could stand in your way to achieve your dreams. Many years later, when you'll be telling stories about how you survived this global pandemic, how you completed this degree amidst all the odd circumstances, you won't recall the hardship in doing this education and doing this degree. Like when you had to turn in an assignment, your internet was down, or how hard it was to muster the energy to study for yet another online exam. You will recall the special memories that you created with your family and friends together to fight this hardship. You will recall the acts of kindness, the acts of support which were extended to you by your classmate or a faculty member or student services or your MCNY community. You will recall that despite all these challenges, you remained determined, motivated, and committed to excel. On behalf of DMD Z Alpha chapter and on behalf of School for Business, I want to congratulate you again and wish you all the best in your future academic career and life pursuits. And I want to thank President Passaro, Vice President Crookendale, full-time faculty, and other leadership and staff who are here with us today to celebrate this occasion. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you enjoyed the ceremony. And now I'm going to introduce President Passaro. It's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Passaro, the 6th president of Metropolitan College of New York. Dr. Passaro is a cultural anthropologist who holds her BA and PhD degrees from Duke University. Before joining MCNY, Dr. Passaro served as provost and vice president for academic affairs at Carroll University in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And prior to that, she served as interim vice president for academic affairs at Point Park University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and as acting provost and vice president for planning and institutional assessment at Mercy College in New York. She joined Metropolitan College of New York in 2018, and Dr. Passaro's vision for MCNY is the cornerstone of positive change. I'm very proud to say that she has been honored as one of the New York's dedicated educators and named to 2021 City and State Higher Education Power 100. We are very honored to have you, Dr. Passaro, today here with us, and I request you to please say your welcome remarks.
Thank you, Radhika, and hello and good evening, graduates. It is such a pleasure for me to be here and greet you and congratulate you. Not only did you complete your degree at such an unprecedented moment in our history, but you did so with distinction. You did so with academic excellence. This has an enormous meaning and will be very important to you in the future. So you should take a minute and appreciate what you have done. You not only got your degree, but you got it with honors at a time when our communities are being devastated by the pandemic, by racial violence. You somehow found it within yourself to succeed and succeed brilliantly. You are the leaders we will need to make this world a better place, to make New York City a better place. The whole goal of Metropolitan College since its founding in 1964 was to educate adults for new career pathways and help them make the changes that we all want to see in the world. And you are our vehicles for doing that. You are the people who achieve our mission. Our faculty and staff prepare you and you graduate, but really how we count ourselves as successful is by the things that you do after graduation, your impact on our communities, the purposeful change that you bring to your organizations, your families, your neighborhoods. Those are the things we desperately need. We need you to lead. We need you to innovate. We need you to show this city and show the world what you can be, what we could be together, and what a vision of a better world is. So I want to say that I am honored to be among all of you who have done such an extraordinary job of succeeding in such a powerful moment in our history. I congratulate you, I salute you, and I hope that you will stay in touch with us. Let us know what you're doing, because as I indicated, we take great pride in your accomplishments, and partly it's how we know we're doing our job right. So congratulations, graduates. We look forward to our commencement next week, and I wish it were in person. I wish all of these things were in person, but as I'm scrolling through my screen, it's really a joy for me to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Passaro. I see we have next in our agenda VP Crookendale. Do we have him here? Okay, that's fine. We can circle back when he joins. And at this point, I want to recognize some of the faculty and leadership and staff members who are here with us. We have here with us Dr. Ralph Leal, the Dean Emeritus of Business School. Yes, I think so. He's there somewhere. I want to recognize Dr. David Rosner, full-time faculty and a senior associate professor at School for Business. I see we have Dean Abara, Dean of Students, who is also here to celebrate the occasion with you all. And I see we have Director Tina Georgia, the Director of Communications and Alumni Relations. She's the one who will be in touch with you always, even after you graduate, and make you feel, we all will make you feel that you're part of MCNY community. Am I missing anyone in the staff and the faculty? I'm just quickly browsing my.
I see Executive Director Edwards as well.
Oh, yes. So we have Executive Director John Edwards, who is the Executive Director of the Bronx campus and Director of the Career Services. Thank you so much, John, for coming. I think so we have, and as people join, we will recognize them as they join. Now I am going to introduce you all to our student president of the Z Alpha chapter, Mr. Virak Han. Mr. Han is the student president of the Z Alpha chapter of Delta Mu Delta for MCNY. Mr. Virak did his undergrad BBA, Bachelor of Business from MCNY School for Business. And he's currently doing MBA General Management at School for Business. Virak is also student government president for both the campuses. He is also the student associate. So he's the person who gets everything moving at MCNY at the student level. So I'm going to turn over to Virak to read out and recognize the student names.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to acknowledge and congratulate everyone for doing some great work, especially during this time. So for Professor Jha, members of the Zia chapter of Delta Mu Delta, we will now proceed with the induction of newly elected members. I will now present 25 candidates for membership in Delta Mu Delta. The bylaws are the fundamental laws of our society and published on the national website. Do each of you accept the purpose of Delta Mu Delta as expressed in those bylaws? And do you desire to be admitted into Delta Mu Delta? If so, say I do. So you can unmute yourself and say I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank
I
you.
do.
I do.
I do. I do.
I do too.
I do.
I do.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and start my names. Okay.
I do.
Okay. And here we go. I will start with the class of 2020 and 2021. Charles Achimpong. Bright Maku Akamang. Natalia Araklova. Dwayne Barak. Giovanni Glenn Benoit. Maria Barishash. Medea Keller Breyer. Christy B. King. Marcella Kuash. Yuan Jen. Kimberly Downer. Prasanna Dwyer. Francini Geraldo. Andrew Green. Jonathan Arnold Johnson. Jabari Marlowe. Jorge Alejandro Navarte. Clement Cortez. Laura Christian Pidaval. Elsa Iris Guiones. Alina Tarrant. Michelle A. Williams. Dorian Wilson. And Dawn Eartha Winfield. I'm also going to recognize the class from last year as well. I will start with Koala Di Maio, Otto Joan Denion, Tasha Baptiste, Todd Bristow, Genevieve Cannon, Andy Carrera, Nicole Cibrian, C.I. Celestian, Ashera Cividit Dennis, Latoya Klein, Shavana Coyne, Kayan Crawford, Yojera Delgado, Amy Ducure, Rosie Escalante, Stephen Espriano, Marissa Evans, Alice Forhat, Patience Felder, Clifford Francois, Monique Goodman, Stacy Ann Hibbert, Marie Jones, Daphne Albaldo, Cassiana Laventor, Kayla Maddox, Mickey McCullough, Nazmani Meder, Erica Mina, Lorna Modest Thomas, Ricardo Morano, Alisa Mosquera, Juan Motendo, Davida Naval, Jadi Osado Gonzalez, Elton Perry Nueri, Ekua Pipra, Jonathan Perez, Bianca Blanc, Jessica Bolanco, Ujwal Prajapati, Stephanie Marames, Barbara Randolph Duke, Maritza Samuel, Vanessa Simmons, Brenda Singleton, Ashley Smalls, Tessa Smith, Abdullah Syed, Michelle Velez, Maria Villaflor, Wendy Villanova, Jessica Ventimilla, Kia Warren, Meryl Waters, Malika Wint, Price Prince Yachts, Bruce Yabaho, and Pascal Zamar. Thank you. These congratulations to the class of 2020 and class of 2021 for being part of the now Delta Mu Delta, the Alpha chapter.
Thank you, Virek. If you could just move to the next slide. I will be announcing 2 names here for induction of our honorary members. Dr. Sam Kingston, who has joined us from London right here. I will be introducing them a little bit later. And our second honorary inductee member is Miss Tanya Guzman, a business school alumni, and I will be introducing her also in a short while. Now, the moment has come, the time to take the pledge for Delta Mu Delta. And I am going to request Associate Dean Han to unmute everyone. And I would ask every one of you to just unmute yourself, raise your right hand, and please repeat after me as I say the pledge.
Raise your right hand, Cola. That's your left.
Okay.
Wait, Professor Jha,
Yes,
you missed one of the students.
I did.
Yes, Jessica Stokes.
And me
Jessica-
too. And I didn't hear mine either. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we can, Jessica Stokes and who else?
Sana igual. Harvelyn Grant.
Harvelyn Grant, Jessica Stokes. Okay, because this was, this year we had some students from the past year also who did attend past year's ceremony, but since we could not do a in-person and their regalia distribution, so we included from the last year. So I apologize for any confusion, but I want to congratulate Jessica Stokes and Harvelyn, and welcome to Delta Mu Delta. And I would want you also to please raise your hand and please repeat after me to do the pledge. Thank you so much for reminding. I solemnly affirm
I
solemnly affirm
to all those present
to all
all those present
and those who have preceded me,
and those who have preceded
me,
that I will serve the society
that I will serve the society
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I will observe the society's bylaws
I will observe the society's bylaws
and provide counsel and aid
and provide counsel and aid
for my fellow members
for my fellow members
in accepting membership into Delta Mu Delta,
in accepting membership into Delta,
International Honor Society in Business Administration,
International Honor Society in Business Administration.
I acknowledge the distinct honor
I acknowledge this honor
that has been bestowed upon me.
that has been bestowed upon me.
This pledge is evidence of my commitment
This pledge is evidence of my
commitment
to your fellowship.
to your fellowship.
Congratulations. And that also you can repeat after me.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, I really formally want to congratulate all of you. And as you must have noticed that I am also the inductee. This is my first year as an advisor to Delta Mu Delta. So I took the oath and I really feel honored to be a part of Delta Mu Delta Society. And I feel honored to be the advisor for you all. So I am the conduit between Delta Mu Delta and MCNY chapter. So just get in touch with me anytime, whenever you want to link with Delta Mu Delta for its activities or anything. So we will be, once again recognizing our two honorary members. I'll start with our keynote speaker, Dr. Sam Kingston. Dr. Sam Kingston, if you could just put the screen share off, Virek. Thank you. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Sam Kingston. Dr. Kingston is the Chief Executive Officer at Mobica Enabling Technologies, which is a global software services company delivering enabling technologies that transform business outcomes. He's based in the headquarters in Manchester, London. Dr. Kingston is a strategic leader with broad international experience and a track record of shaping, growing, and transforming the business of technology companies. He started his career in chemical research, during which he published several scientific papers and was granted a number of patents. Dr. Kingston holds an honors degree in chemistry and a Master of Science and PhD degree in polymer science. Oh. We are very honored to induct Dr. Kingston as the honorary inductee to Z Alpha chapter of Delta Mu Delta. And I would like to request Dr. Kingston to say a few words.
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you. Guys, if I stand back for a second and listen to the words that have been said about you and to you tonight, you know, they're celebrating your achievement of reaching the pinnacle of your academic capability and your academic recognition that that's the apex. That really is the apex of what you've done. Now, if you stand back and you look at the journey in which you've come to this pinnacle, how have you achieved it? No two journeys are identical, but what you will have done on that journey, you will have learned a lot about yourself. You'll have learned a lot about what enables you to succeed and which actually inhibits you succeeding. And I would invite you to think about that, especially tonight, but going forward in your future careers, in the options that you take, whether you end up as being running for Congress or sitting back and saying, I'm going to do something different, then really do stand back and say to yourself, right, okay, fine. I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve, what defines me. But actually never underestimate the impact you have on others. Your story, the way in which you tell your story, the way in which you have made your accomplishments and succeeded, as said in very strange times, actually is a statement about your commitment and your ethic, your being, the way in which you have gone forward. Now that says a lot about you. And it was referenced earlier that will distinguish you in the marketplace if you choose to stay in the business world. But it's also very important that what you do is you act as an ambassador. Act as an ambassador for lifelong learning. Do not stand back now and think, right, I've ended my journey. Your journey's just beginning. Because you are the intelligentsia, the current and future intelligentsia, others will join you, but you should now stand back and you should say, okay, this is now my era. This is now where I make a difference. Because one person can sway a nation. What you need to do, I believe right now, is celebrate, absolutely celebrate. And in life, celebrate your achievements, meaningful achievements on your journey, because today, I think if we've learned one thing from this pandemic, that those around us whom we may wish to celebrate with may not be here in the future. We may not be here in the future. That's a very strange thing to say, but in today's world, it's actually true. Now, if you stand back and you say, that's my celebration, fine. But my point's this. There are in our society today very many laws that govern where we go, what we do, how we go forward, what we drive to. Be an example of what is possible. Demonstrate to people your story. Talk about you. Tell your way of doing things. Present in the business world, in whatever community you're in, present a way that is powerful. Present this lifelong learning. Education should be a right, not a privilege. So encourage people. They don't have to follow an academic world or an academic way. They could follow a vocational way. But value that, value education. Now, if you move from that and you look at you as an individual, because tonight is your night. When you walk into a room, guys, a room full of strangers, and then somebody turns to you and says, who are you? I would like you to consider the question before that you ask yourself, who am I? What do I stand for? How do I want to be positioned? What are my values? All of those areas. If you go back to elementary school biology, when you're sitting there and you're sitting understanding all about the amoeba, the single-celled animal. And in there, you're told there's a nucleus, and the nucleus contains your DNA. And right next to that, there's a mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. Now, the two of those remain and they subsist throughout our lives. But what we do is we change. We're influenced by experiences. We're influenced by ourselves, who we meet, what we do, how we learn, where we go forward. Keep that. Do not be static. Do not think only in that biological level. Do not think about just being defined by where you come from. Lose that. Talk about shaping a future. Because when you answer that question, who am I? Let me give you my answer. You've heard my introduction. Let me give you a different introduction. I'm Sam Kingston. I run businesses at the front end of technology, the leading edge, the bleeding edge of technology. But I'm a scientist. And a scientist running the business is a very dangerous thing because I think like a scientist. I deal in facts. I don't work well with the entrepreneurs. I don't have that instinct. I don't have that know-how. I don't have that gut feeling that entrepreneurs have. So I base it around fact. I have two core beliefs, intellect being one, integrity being the other. Where they are absent, I become disruptive. I don't admire people who don't have those. And therefore, if organizations are composed of people who don't have those, I don't want to do business there. I don't want to have that. So I bring my prejudice to the table. I also look at the point where I sit on the right wing of the Democratic Party and the left wing of the Republican Party, and I sit there in that no man's land. You can't sit there in that no man's land anymore. Why? Because if you sit there, then people are voted in that should never be voted in. What you have to do is stand back and ask yourself, do you want to be counted? You have the credentials, you have earned the right to comment. Tonight, you've been inducted into a society which actually prides itself on the distinguishing factors that you talked about. You are absolutely differentiated from your peers. You are truly that intelligentsia. Be confident, walk with a spring in your step, hold your head up high, tell your story, tell it to others, broadcast. Do not hide that. Each of you has a part to play. Stand back though, and when you walk in to that room and you're asked that question, of course you're going to answer it in the context it's asked, the situation you're in, but understand, who am I? Do that. And sometimes there'll be dark periods. There'll be periods where people won't recognize that, where people will actually subjugate, will, if you want, not listen to your voice. I'm not a great fan of Winston Churchill, even though I'm a Brit. I should stand back and say that what I see, though, is I do recognize some of the contributions that he's made. And one of the things he did, he went to his old school and he stood up in front of the audience, the guys, and he said to them, I don't want to give you a long speech. And everybody was sitting back thinking, oh, this is a 2-hour speech, because he was famous for his long speeches. And all he did, he delivered 9 words. And those 9 words repeated: never give up, never give up, never give up. Now you've demonstrated that. You've demonstrated, you've fulfilled those words in the context of academic achievement to the point where you have distinguished yourself way, way in advance of expectation. That's your expectation. You've done really well. But there will be times in life when life punches you in the face. You're down on one knee. You've got to stand back and get up and go at it again. That's the real test of you, your core, that integrity, that intellect. Drive it. Do not be defined by where you've come from. Now, what does the future hold for us as a community? I'd like you to consider that. If you think of kids entering elementary school today, children entering elementary school, in their work life, they will be required or encouraged to take a sabbatical for every 10 years of employment. That's what the futurologists tell us, or sociologists tell us. The futurologists tell us about technology. Now, the company I work in, we're actually in the automotive, you know, the autonomous vehicles, the driverless cars. We're looking at that. We're looking at how devices can be self-robotics, and we're doing work in that sphere, which actually takes you into the balance between the digital and physical world, but it takes you into the human and robotics world. It brings in the moral questions of when's an accident caused by a piece of software and when's an accident caused by a person. Brings you into all those dilemmas. In your life, as you go forward and as you run businesses and as you contribute in those businesses, if you choose to do that, whether that be for enterprises or whether that be on your own, or whether you stand back and you join a different world, whether you take a different track. The important thing is that what you do is you appreciate the value of technology. Don't be a Luddite. Embrace technology, but use technology in a way that it profits from a societal perspective. And what do I mean by that? If you look today, about a few months ago now, it's going back to October, November last year, there was a new supercomputer launched, a computer that is capable of analyzing and assisting in pandemic identification, in looking at programs in space, in looking at solving a number of unknown problems where we didn't have the computing power today. It's called Perlmutter, P-E-R-L, and then M-U-T-T-E-R. It's the new world of supercomputing. It won't be long before that's translated into robotics, into machine learning, into ways where our lives will be influenced, and influenced heavily by the advent of that computer. We already see biomechanics and biometrics starting to look and starting to come in. Don't be frightened of technology. And I say that with caution. Don't be frightened of it, embrace it. You're living in a world where you'll be called upon to lead businesses in that new world. You'll be called upon to make decisions that are not single business or sociological or technological. They'll carry all of the implications of that. You'll be talking about people's lives, about whether people are working 4 days a week, if they're working from home, if they're working from an office, what's remote working, how's it going to go? What are the tools people need? How do you go forward? What do you do? All of those decisions we're faced with today, we do that. But in the future, they'll become more complicated. Why? Because we may not work in the same way. There may not be the company structure. If you consider what headhunters are telling us, what recruitment agencies are saying, in the world today, what we're seeing is organizations recruiting teams. And I don't mean teams of technologists or teams of salespeople or teams of delivery people or teams of production or finance. No, I'm talking about teams of change agents across the organization. Because organizations are slowly and surely preparing for a change in business. Adapt. Go back to my very first question. The very first question, who am I? Am I somebody who wants to operate in that world, or am I going to pull back? Understand that. Understand also that what you do have is you do have the right. Remember back in 1926, the massive general strike. There was a big general strike all over the world. Lots of people going on strike. The stock market was just about to collapse. What you started to see was massive unemployment starting to come. So now you can start to see trends. You can start to see the 80s and the 1980s, the economic downturns then. You can start to see technology causing economic downturns. So there's a number of things. And the point I'm trying to bring out tonight, guys, is that you will be called upon because of who you are and what you've achieved. You'll be called upon to participate, to actually define futures. So I wish you, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you good luck, because I'll be sitting there and I'll be sitting on a beach somewhere drinking pina coladas thinking, my money, my pension's safe, because these guys are smart. They're smarter than you, Sam, and they're going to do it. And I really hope you are, guys, and I really hope you will do it. I really hope you'll succeed in whatever walk of life you take. Because life is too short to constantly have regrets. Celebrate, enjoy. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Kingston. Thank you for such an excellent, wonderful, inspiring, motivating speech. I always enjoy listening to you. And thank you so much for joining us at this odd hour, like you are a few hours ahead of us, this late night in London. But as I said, it's always very inspiring to hear you. Our next honorary inductee is Ms. Tanya Guzman. Ms. Guzman is Vice President of Business and Legal Affairs in the MTV Entertainment Group at Viacom CBS. In her role, she oversees production, legal, and contracts management across several brands, such as Comedy Central, MTV, Paramount Plus, and VH1. Ms. Guzman has a proven track record for her ability to draw community support and involvement for social impact productions. Ms. Guzman graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in communication arts from Marymount Manhattan College. And I'm very proud to say that Ms. Guzman is MCNY alumni from the class of 2007 MBA Media Management program. She's also currently an adjunct instructor at MCNY and serves on the advisory board for MCNY Graduate School of Business. I'm really honored to induct Ms. Guzman as honorary inductee in Z Alpha chapter of Delta Mu Delta, and I'm going to request her to say a few words.
Thank you for the introduction, and thank you to the committee for including me in this induction ceremony. To the scholars, congratulations. I am honored to be here to celebrate your academic achievement and share this proud moment of our induction into the Xi Alpha chapter of Delta Mu Delta International Honor Society. Like many of you, I was enrolled at MCNY as a graduate business student. I juggled multiple jobs, family, friends, and all while studying hard to not only earn my degree, but with high honors. I can truly say that I know the dedication and sacrifices you made to make this happen. And I commend each of you for pressing through to land at the top of your class. This evening, I'd like to quickly share a snippet of my background and key points that I hope you will continue to carry with you. First, understand the importance of your choices. If this past year has not shown you anything, it certainly has forced you to learn how to pivot and find that resilient spirit within you to prevail. There may have been days where the stress and unpredictable future were too overwhelming, whether it was the experience of job loss, separation from loved ones, or just finding a new comfort zone outside of your real comfort zone. Notwithstanding all obstacles, you pushed through. You are now more prepared as leaders than any other generation. Simply by honoring your commitment to continue your education despite challenging conditions, you not only excelled academically, but you aced the tests of the pandemic. Achieving this honor today is a direct result of the choices each of you demonstrated. You chose to show up to Zoom classes fully engaged. You chose to build a network with professors and classmates to keep you motivated and achieve highest honors. You chose not to quit, and with those choices, you won academically. Today, your smart choices are recognized by the esteemed administration and faculty of MCNY, as well as the prestigious Delta Mu Delta Committee assembled here today. The first step in your success has been achieved, but I ask you, are you truly ready to challenge yourself with passion and purpose to use all you have learned? Can you recognize the skills that you actually bring to the table? Can you keep that same energy you had in the pandemic when other hurdles come your way to prevent you from reaching your goals? When I was 16 years old, I was a young girl from the Bronx who was determined to become a businesswoman, but I didn't even really know how to start that. My parents were supportive and phenomenal in many ways, but were quick to acknowledge that they lacked the experience to guide me through my career decisions. As a result, I found myself complacent with just being a high-performing student. That's when a very dear friend of the family told me, Tanya, you have special gifts and skills, and you're not even aware of it. She recommended a mentoring program called Upward Bound, and it provided me with the awareness I was missing. Through impactful workshops, I developed my self-esteem and convinced myself that I was destined for more. Eventually, I was placed in a summer internship in the entertainment industry as a high school student and college student, and I began to see my contributions were significant. It was a time I was rejoicing, and I was just on my way to achieving the businesswoman status that I wanted. However, as an unexpected twist surfaced when I was in college, I suddenly became not just bright, but I was a bright 19-year-old sophomore who was about to become a mother. That was a long time ago. I had to reflect on my choices made and remember what my parents and my mentors taught me. After all, I could not fall back into a complacent mindset. I recalled when my mother told me once, in order to do our best, we actually have to believe we are the best. As a result, I contacted my former employer from a summer internship and negotiated my way into a full-time position. And they actually guaranteed 100% tuition reimbursement package so I could finish my degree. It was that moment that I knew I was destined for a career in business. As you advance in your careers, whether climbing the ranks of corporate America or launching CA through entrepreneurship. There will be deterrents, but always remember those who believe in you. Treat your intellect with the respect that it deserves, and don't let any obstacle confront you. This brings me into the last point: build and preserve meaningful relationships and networks. Lead with confidence, and you recognize that, and that is crucial. But also acknowledging how you arrived with such poise is just as important. I can admit that my success stems from the relationships to which I invest time, preserve, and continue to grow. I would like for you to reflect on the relationships that you made at MCNY and realize that you have a strong network in the MCNY family and now into the International Honor Society as well. You have devoted faculty and administration who genuinely want to see you succeed. Understand that networks you choose to enrich will be there for a lifetime. And I challenge you as leaders to remember to reach back to MCNY and help support those behind you. As the newest inductees of Delta Mu Delta International Honor Society in business, I encourage you to be intentional about making choices with purpose, recognize the talents that you bring to the table, and take pride in preserving meaningful networks. What the world needs most right now are great leaders and thinkers. Use your knowledge and break down those barriers. Show up what you have learned and earned. Use your wisdom and be legendary. I know I look forward to see all of you with successful futures. I wish you continued accolades in the coming years. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Tanya. It was excellent, and it was so nice to hear your story. It's such an inspiring story, and I'm sure all the students must be very inspired hearing your story. We are all very proud of you. MCNY is proud of you. Our whole community is proud of you. And there you go. So I see VP Crookendale, Associate Dean Hand, VP Crookendale is there?
He is.
Okay, so I am going to introduce our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Mr. Humphrey Crookendale. Mr. Humphrey Crookendale is the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Metropolitan College in New York. For more than 40 years, VP Crookendale has served in a number of important academic leadership roles at MCNY, including deanship at all the 3 schools. In addition to leading the college's academic affairs division, Vice President Crookendale also teaches in the MPA program. His areas of interest in teaching are public policy and policy analysis. VP Crookendale holds a BA from Queens College at City University of New York in political science and communications. He also earned a JD from Howard University School of Law. And I want to thank VP Crookendale for joining us today. And I'm going to request him to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Radhika, and good afternoon to all of the honorees this afternoon. What a remarkable thing it is to be recognized for your academic excellence in a year of unprecedented calamities around the world. It would have been acceptable or reasonable for many students to have waved the white flag in surrender in the midst of this pandemic. But the honorees tonight did not surrender. Instead, you persevered, you stuck to it, you pressed on and you pressed forward. And because of your perseverance, victory is yours tonight. And I want to salute you for a job well done. I want to join with the other speakers in acknowledging with confidence that I am sure that you will make MCNY proud of your many endeavors, that you will make your friends and your family proud. I have no doubt that many of you in the years to come will be standout entrepreneurs in your many fields. And for that, I'm hoping that you will always be looking back and saying, Metropolitan College of New York had an instrumental hand in that process. I want to salute you again. Congratulations and all the best as you continue to press forward in your careers. Congratulations.
Thank you, VP Crookendale. Thank you so much for your blessings and guidance. We always need that. Thank you once again for joining. Before we do the last part of our session today, which is the photo op session, I see we have some of our full-time faculty and leadership here, and I am going to quickly ask them to, I will call out the name, quickly ask them to unmute for a one or two line congratulations. And as I'm going to browse my screen and see, I see on my screen, I see Dina Barra first on my screen. So I'm going to ask Dina Barra to unmute herself and congratulate the students.
Oh, good evening. It's an honor to be among you all, and I want to thank you. I want to echo everything that has already been said. I also want to share that in the midst of all of this, it's been the wonderful people around you, your family, your friends, and your loved ones that have been there supporting you and by your side. And you've sacrificed so much. And so I want us to all take a moment after all of this wonderful celebration to make sure that you go back to your loved ones and you give them a big hug and you tell them how much you love them and thank them for everything that they've done for you, because without them, I know that you all recognize that you probably would not be as successful because it's been through their love and their support. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that. And again, thank you for having me here as part of this family.
Thank you so much, Dina Barra. Thank you so much for joining. I see on my screen next is Dr. David Rosner. Dr. David Rosner is full-time faculty at School for Business. Dr. Rosner, if you could just say a few words.
Hi. Oh, thank you. And I wasn't expecting to speak, but I'm happy to do it and say thank you so much, Radhika, for inviting me, and congratulations to all of the graduates. And I know that it's not easy to do what you did, especially this year and the year before. And it is a remarkable achievement that you were able to achieve academic success in this ridiculously weird environment. And you know, and just echoing what everybody else said, I know many of you have jobs and children, other jobs and school and many things on your plate. And so it is definitely a remarkable achievement that you have been able to do as well as you did. And I just want to say congratulations to you, and I'm happy. I recognize some of you, some of your names, even though you were online. I remember your name, and I remember some of the faces from in person. And I'm very happy for you and wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rosner. Thank you so much for joining. I see next on my screen is Director Tina Georgia, and I'm going to request her, she's on my screen, so I'm going to request her to say a few words. She is also the Director of Alumni Relationships, so she is going to be in touch with you, and I am just requesting her to say a few words to the students.
I don't see her.
Oh, okay. I just saw her a little while ago. So it's Zoom, right? Zoom just pushes us out anytime.
She is still with us.
She is there?
Mm-hmm. Wait, are you guys talking about me?
Yes, we are talking about you.
Sorry. I keep bouncing in and out. I apologize. I just want to congratulate everybody. And I do communications and alumni relations for the college. So know that I will be reaching out and communicating with you. I hope that everyone will come back and be part of the alumni networks. And again, I congratulate you all.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you for joining today. I am browsing my windows and I see, I saw Professor Ralph Lear was here, but I don't see him anymore now. I do see a newly joined person who has newly joined the School for Business, Ms. Shaka White. She has joined as administrative assistant. And she's the one who was in contact with you for the regalia and for everything. So Shaka, if you could just unmute and say hi and congratulations to the students.
Hi again. I am in agreement with everyone that has spoke before me, and I just wanted to congratulate you on such a high honor. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaka. So I guess we are almost at the end of the ceremony, and we will be doing a photo op session here. So if you could, if you have a working camera and you can just put it on, or if you have a picture on your screen, that would be great. And Virak is going to take the picture. He will just give us a heads up. Take few shots. You never know which one comes out the best. And after that, we will be for a few minutes, we will be breaking you in 2 breakout rooms, each one with one honorary inductee and faculty and staff members. So
Professor Jha, I just want to ask students and people to make sure that your name is spelled correctly on your video. So when I see the picture, the name should coincide with your picture as well, okay? And I will remove those who are not, who's not showing the videos as well.
And you will tell us so that we can smile, right?
Yes, I will. Okay, here we go. Okay. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got one. They got his thumbs up. 1 second. There we go. One. Take another picture. 3, 2, 1. Ollie has his thumb up too. And I want to take one more. Is this? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Tanya, I'm going to you left the picture, and I gotta take them out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. There we go. And Professor Jha, if I can, I would like to take a picture with you along with the honorees as well. Or we can do that afterwards.
So are you going to divide 2 breakout rooms?
Yes, I will. Yes. I can't. I'll do it right now. Okay. Breakout rooms. Let them pick.
Business Feel is all about networking. So you should get to know each other, get to network. This is an opportunity for you to network.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then room 2 is Mr. There we go. Kingston. And then we are going to sign. Let's join. All right. So I think this room is yeah, this is Tanya. She has to join room 2. And then you, I'm gonna assign you to room 1. Okay. Did I do this correctly? I did. Was this- Oh, there you go, Tanya. Okay. Tanya, this is your room. I'm sorry. There you go. This is all, you got the floor now, okay?
You have to unmute it like 3 times before it actually unmutes. I guess it's controlled from the back end. Security. I see you back there, Doctor. He's like holding it back. So how is everyone? Quiet. That's how everyone. Are they doing the triple unmute themselves the way I had to?
Let me see here. Here we go.
Pixie Grandma. I love the name up there. Who's Pixie Grandma?
I've asked Ms. Grandma and Ms. Smith to unmute themselves.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Maybe people are leaving. It's dinner time and
that's right.
Hungry.
That's right.
How could we have this without any snacks, you know?
I know.
We need some snacks. There you are. Hello. You have to unmute yourself. I'm not that good at lip reading.
There we go.
What's up there?
There you are. Oh, the family's there. Okay, so I get the grandma. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? I have my kids in the basement with dad and the dog, and I'm like, they're watching TV down there. How is everyone? Congratulations, by the way. You're super excited. Oh, beautiful family. So which programs are you graduate? Are you undergrad or grad?
I need to.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yes. She's not.
So, Professor Guzman,
Yes.
thank you so much for like sharing your story with us. It was touching to me, especially when there was an emotion attached to it.
So mad that I cried doing that. I'm like, I was trying to hold it back, but I couldn't.
That's what makes it powerful, though.
Yeah,
that's what makes it
it's so powerful to me. That speech was very powerful and it touched me, and it motivated me now because I really want to go to the same field as you as well. But I didn't know if I wanted to be in business. I didn't know if I wanted to help my parents to kind of revamp the business. I didn't know where I wanted to be, and I was kind of lost in that. Your story felt to me was I connected to it because now I know my calling, as I call it. There's always a message behind it, and the universe kind of gives you like a, how can I say this? Kind of give you a clue, and then you have to figure out what to do when you find that clue, and you found out. You got you pursued it, and and look at where you're at now. You're at MTV, and you know, in doing what you like to do, and I commend you for that. Thank you for that speech.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's just a snippet. That's why I said there'll always be obstacles. You know, we really can't control life, obviously. You know, and it's just how you deal with, you know, your next steps. That's really the key. Like, how are you able to
the balance
motivated, right? Keep yourself motivated, because especially if you're going to go into media changes, you know, before we have this conversation, there'll be something new, you know? And so you have to, the pressure of staying up to date with everything but then you also have your life, right? So it's like, how do I, if I take time out, like even today, I took the day off because there's no way in the world that I could have worked all days today and been here on time. And so everyone's on my cell phone. They're texting, everything. I'm just like, turn the phone off, you know? And I know tomorrow will look like I was on maternity leave and I really only took one day off, but that's just, you have to figure it out, you know? You have to figure it out and find a bucket for everything. And, you know, you can, like I tell my family, you know, there's times when I know I have to show up 110% as a parent. I know there's other times when I have to show up 110% as an employee, you know? And so that's up to me to balance that. You know, it's not easy, but you have to be organized. And with a business degree, that teaches you more organization than anything. You know, you learn how to balance, you know, forecast, budgets. Same thing is, you know, your home. It's the same exact thing. So, you know, there's a benefit in everything. There's a lesson in everything. You know, and I know Dr. Kingston mentioned that as well in his speech, that, you know, you really should look at your life and realize like who you are. There's so many parts to us, you know, there's so many parts, and sometimes we get focused on one thing only, but we can't just do one thing if we're skilled in so many other areas. So it's just about balancing that out and allowing it to shine.
Yes, it's really hard to balance. That's the hardest thing for me right now. It's just the balance part. Like you had your first child at 19, you balance school, balance your child. That is like, I give it up to, when I see my mom, she does the same thing too. For some reason, the females can, oh, I don't want to be sexist, but my mother can balance her friends, you know, her husband, her kids, job, cooking, cleaning. It's amazing to me. And I'm over here at my age trying to figure out where she got this, like, why does it pass down to me? And so I commend, I'm just so amazed by how, you know, she's able to, and especially you were able to manage that. I felt, I'm gonna tell you this much, I gave up a couple of times, and without my sister and my support, my team, they wouldn't, my friends wouldn't, I probably wouldn't even be this far. And I definitely think that just managing things is kind of hard for me, but I'm getting through it.
Well, that's good. I mean, you know, keeping a good network is really important, you know, and it's good that you have family and friends that are, you know, sort of keeping you motivated throughout the process, because there are times where you just need a timeout, right? And you just don't know what to do. But you know, I always think about that. It's like, you know, I may be able to take one day where I don't want to think about anything. I don't want to do today. I don't have no plans. Like, you know, just let me sit and just breathe and be still, right? And those moments are what allows you to recharge, right? And sometimes, you know, I always do this, and I know this shows how old I am, but, you know, sometimes I just write, you know, I find a quiet space and I write my thoughts out. And it's like therapeutic for me, right? Because it's almost like you want to just slow down. Like our eyes are always on a screen. If it's not the cell phone, it's, you know, the computer, the television, right? So just take a piece of paper and write out your thoughts. You know? And don't even read it right then. It's just like, it's almost like I'm just brainstorming, writing different things down. And I don't really go back and look at it until maybe a week or two later. And then that's almost like a book, right? You're reading something that came from you. It's your ideas. It's what's on your mind. And then from there, you can organize what it is that you're thinking about, right? So it's because sometimes we have so much going on, it doesn't make sense right away. But when you put it on a piece of paper, it's no different than school, right? You sometimes we get all this information from class and we're just writing notes and, you know, we're trying to organize it later when we have to study. That's it. It's you studying your life. You know, these are the goals that you want to do, and you may have to prioritize them, right? Some things you can reach right away, and some things may need a 5-month plan or a 5-year plan, whatever it is. But when you write that down, you know, it becomes realistic, right? It becomes something that you have to do.
Affirmation.
Anymore, right? It's official. So yeah, I would definitely say that. And don't put pressure on yourselves. You know, sometimes we get caught up in this time frame, like a timeline, right? I got to do this by this age, I got to do that by that age, and I should be here by now. I should have, you know, all of these things, and it just becomes more and more pressure, right? And I don't think that is the best way to go from a mental health standpoint, right? Because we can make ourselves ill, pressuring ourselves so much. Yeah, we want to achieve. Yeah, we want to push ourselves and motivate ourselves to make the next step happen, but we have to be mindful of the time frame in doing so. Not everything can happen right away.
My last question, I'm sorry, does anybody else have
no
any
worries.
questions? I don't want to hog up the space.
I can put my cell in there by all means, or the email, you know, I'm on MCNY email too. But does anybody else have any questions? I think we have to go back in 3 minutes.
A few minutes, yes.
Yeah, if not, then sure.
So what would you tell the inductees? What do you look for when you want to hire someone or you need someone to be in a department? What is it specifically you look for?
Me specifically, I mean, well, the industry that I work in is production and live events and specials. So it's very fast moving. So I need someone who's organized. I always say I can't have a slacker on the team. I know that sounds like a lot of pressure, but it is, right? So I'm willing to groom someone. I mean, I have interns all the time. So the interns are different, right? The interns I can take under my wing and teach them. But if I was to hire someone as staff, I need them to kind of come in and hit the ground running, right? You have to do something. And this is why when I teach the students here now, I tell them, you have to intern. You have to. Like I intern from 16 to, you know, I got a degree, right? Like every year for 11th grade, I'm literally working, right? 11th grade, that was the first internship that I had. I was at Ogilvy and Mather, then I was at HBO, then I was at Warner Music Group. Like there were so many different places that I was at, and it worked. You know, it's you need that hands-on. You could have every degree in the world, but if you don't really know what you're doing right there, you have to have that experience, right? You just have to have someone that you can shadow and then pick it up from there to help you. But I'll be happy to look at your resume if you want me to.
Yes.
I'll
just send it to you.
Yeah, no, the resumes are important. Sometimes we don't have the right thing on the resume. We might have the talent, but you need to articulate it properly. You know, that's the whole.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna close the breakout room now. So we're all gonna return back into the main room. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Professor Guzman.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody. The quiet ones.
Breakout room here. Boom. And over here. 2 seconds. So you can press the button. There should be a button. So everybody should be pressing. There we go. 41 seconds. Okay.
I was counting down.
Yeah, it's kind of down. So is your office in Times Square?
My office is in my house right now, but yes, it's in Times Square.
PlayStation Theater?
We're actually supposed to go back right after July 4th, but it's voluntary and probably until the fall. The fall we'll probably all have to go back. But hybrid, we'll never be there all at the same time again.
I want to see what's this future is going to hold for us, how they're going to manage all of us at the same time. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, it'll be challenging.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, we're all back together, right? There we go. So you do the right option. Close. There we go. Did you all right, Dean Han?
It says that all rooms will close in about 45 seconds.
Another 60? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna do. Everybody's out of room number 2 already. I think everybody's in. Yeah.
I see that there are 10 people still in room 1 and 9 in room
Wow,
2.
yeah. Oh, they'll be out in 60 seconds.
Yep.
Main session. Sure. Do I press open all rooms or close them?
Close, I believe.
It won't give me a close. I don't see a close.
I'll try deleting the rooms.
It won't let me do it.
Yep.
Stuff. Difficulties here.
All the rooms have been deleted.
Okay. We're all in the same room. Okay. Where is Professor Jha? There you go.
Okay, so we are back in one room. Nobody's left behind in any room, right?
No, I apologize.
Okay, so I think it was great. It was great to hang out in small rooms to talk to people. I saw Dr. Sam Kingston just left us. He went to join another room. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I want to conclude the ceremony by requesting Associate Dean David Hans to say some thank you remarks. And thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, VP Crookendale, for joining. And I wish you all good luck and all the best in future.
So it's my pleasure on behalf of President Passaro and Vice President Crookendale, Director Jha, and the faculty of the college's School for Business to first thank Dr. Kingston and Professor Guzman for joining us this evening and for sharing their remarks with us. Both Dr. Kingston and Professor Guzman are good friends of both the college and the School for Business, and we very much appreciate their service to the college and to its students. But most importantly, I want to congratulate all of the inductees on your accomplishment in a particularly challenging year. And as Ms. Giorgio said, we look forward to you staying in touch with us in the months and years to come. Please don't hesitate to share news of your accomplishments, both personal and professional. Connect with us on Facebook, connect with us on LinkedIn, because we're happy to share news of your accomplishments and your careers with the college's community. And with that, congratulations again, and thanks very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.